Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, to us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, because they shall arise first. To the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. The Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer, because he come and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. My name is Micah Allah Ben Gab Ben Yasharallah. The Church of Philadelphia camp here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Once again, come back at you with another one. And as the title says, the RFID microchip will be made mandatory no matter how much you vote. All right, the RFID microchip will be made mandatory no matter how much you vote. And the reason for this is I got this article here and I have some scriptures lined up, which hold on. So I have this article here. It's what is it? News Radio 560 KPQ 101.7 FM. I don't know where that's actually at, but I'll show it to you. All right, what you can see. And basically, it's going into Washington. The lawmakers. It's funny because they're the lawmakers, but I'm gonna read the article. It's not too long. All right, then we'll hop into the scriptures, but it's going to explain. Hold on, let me scroll down. Explaining what they want to do. Oh shit, Salakia. I'll tell you, man. These technology sucks. All right, here we go. All right, but basically, it's going to explain what they're trying to do as far as trying to ban things. But this says Washington bans employee microchip implants in the workplace. And this article was published March 5th, 2026. And what's today's date? I believe it's what? Oh, it's the 6th. So this was published yesterday. Dean. This is a fresh boy. All right. So it says Washington bans employee microchip implants in the workplace. Now, you got to think back to what was that? COVID, right? That was a test run. When they had the scanner scanning your head to get people prepared for that, and you had to get that thing to be able to work. And I watched people quit, but this time around, like they hauling you off, and if you don't get it, it's off with your head, man. But anyway, check it out. They're trying to say, Salaki, forgive me. I was getting off the plant not too long ago. But damn, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, they're gonna force it on you. And people in Babylon is like they're far gone, you know. Their mind is far gone. That's why they keep them entertained, right? They always entertain them with the basketball, football. Now you got basketball. I believe hockey. Now you got baseball coming up. You know, so these people still think that they have a fighting chance to that they're going to be like they could change the laws. No, man, your rights is already taken over, and Trump told you that his first term. Now he's in his second. And my God, Shalom, brother, y'all, Bashim Ashai, Bashim Chakodas Brakatah. My brother, he got up here, Proverbs 21:1. It says, the king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. That's right. By Hashem Yahweh Shai. As the rivers of waters, he turneth it whatever so he will. That's right, brother. That's right, bro. That's a beautiful scripture right there. And that's why these people right now, they're trying to vote on it. But hold on, let me hop right into this article real fast. It says Washington lawmakers have approved legislation to prohibit, listen to these words, to prohibit employers from requiring workers to have microchips implanted in their bodies, making clear that punching a clock, that punching a time clock should not require becoming one. All right, this is funny. So Nate and all you other camps out there that teach against the chip, why, what's going on? You know, speaking more and more about it. Hey, Shalom, boy, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Hakodas Brakatah, salvation is near. All right, but it says if the apostles wasn't telling the truth, now you're hearing more and more about these chips, man. All right, more and more about these chips, and I ain't talking about Lay's. All right, and this is mainstream, man. All right, like I said, this article was published yesterday, and today is the 6th. Yesterday was the 5th. This was March 5th, 2026, all right? It says Washington's House Bill. I'm going to try to get into that. But it says Washington's House Bill 2303 passed the House on an 87-6 vote and cleared the Senate unanimously 48-0 in early March. It says the measure now heads to Governor Ferguson's desk, all right, for signature. If signed, Washington would join at least 13 other states that have adapted similar bans on mandatory workplace microchips. Now, this is the twist right here. This is bigger than Babylon, all right? As the scriptures say, this is going to be on a worldwide scale, which I had a couple scriptures lined up, which we're going to get into that. You know, but this is going to be on a worldwide scale. So no matter how many votes are cast and all that, the Lord already got the ultimate say so. And what he says goes. And guess what? This thing is going to be made mandatory. All right. Why? Because the Bible has spoken it. All right. Check it out. It says the bill prohibits employers from requiring, coercing, or even requesting that employees or job applicants receive subcutaneous identification implants or chipping for any reason. So if this is the case, right, what they're saying is Esau full of SHIT. So why are they pushing digital IDs if they're not going to make this thing right here mandatory? You know, they slick, man, but we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. You know? And this is just another stumbling block to try to have people, oh, this is not going to happen. Yes, it's going to happen, man. The scriptures tell you it is. Like I said, I got the scriptures lined up. It says how microchips could have been used in the workplace. All right, it says supporters describe the legislation as a preemptive safeguard for bodily anatomy as technology advances. Matter of fact, I read a book called The Cloak of the Illuminati, right? This was years ago. I wish I could find that book again. But it was going into how they want to make super soldiers. And they were going in the scriptures as well, you know? Like if a soldier's on the battlefield or whatever, his arms get cut off or shot off or whatever the case may be, it'll grow right back, you know, and guess what they was talking about? These chips. So that's your military. So if this thing wasn't going to be made mandatory, why they put it in that book, and why the hell, you know, would it be talking about the military? Come on now. This is just a distraction. Like I said, this article was published yesterday. All right, the 5th of March. It says, while the practice is rare, microchips have been marked for uses such as opening secure doors, logging into computers, storing ID credentials, tracking time and attendance, or even buying snacks in the break room. No wallet required, just a wave of the hand. And see this right here, man? They want complete control of everything, man. All right? That's what this chip is all about. That's what the MOT to the B is about. Because they want you to worship them. Just like when Yahweh Shah, he did it first. I'm not talking about the chip, but as far as that temptation goes, when he was in the Roman Empire and they took him up on the mountain, said that they would do this, and if this happens, they'll cast it. What they told him to jump off the mountain, and the angels would grab him and all that. You know, so these devils, man, they got hell to pay for everything that they're doing, man. You know, and they're being facetious. All right. It says exemptions for medical and device. It says exemptions for medical and health devices. You see that? Here we go. It says exemptions for medical and health devices. Now, if you look at the Obama, what was that? I think it was the Obamacare, something like that. But it was in page 3006, if I'm not mistaken. Roughly about the second paragraph when he spoke about an implantable device, you know, for medical purposes, just in case you got in an accident, you couldn't you were incoherent. All they gotta do is scan it and all your information will pop up. So they're trying to use this as a convenience, and they're going to use their entertainers, athletes, rappers, so on and so forth, you know, for the youth, for them to go. They're going to try to make it seem like it's cool. Oh, look, you can do all these things. You could become a robot. That, man, the Lord ain't intended. We're already basically computers that the Lord programs. You know, now Esau is, like the scriptures say, he wants to play the role of the Most High. He wants to be like the Most High, you know, but he can't get that. All right. And check it out. It says exemptions for medical and health devices. It says under the proposal, implants used strictly for medical, and this going to be that loophole, medical diagnostics or health monitoring purposes are exempt. The measure allows employees to bring civil action against employers who violate the law, including seeking injunctive relief, actual damages, and punitive damages. Yo, Babylon, your laws don't mean nothing no more, you know, because they're falling, man. They want a whole new world thing, all right? What the Lord is about to rain it down on you, man. All right, it says lawmakers say the goal is simply ensure workers are not pressured to become part of a workplace experiment that sounds more like science fiction. See that? The human resources. In other words, the only thing employees should bring to work is their badge, not their inner cyborg. All right, and check this out, man. I used to work at this Whole Food seafood place, you know, and they served all type of different fish and everything. But you used to have a badge, you know, and that is nothing wrong with having a badge. But once you start to put these things in people's body, that's when the problem comes in, man. You know, that's when it becomes a problem, and that's what Esau wants to do. All right, he wants to claim you, man. Basically, he wants to say that you belong to him. We belong to Yahweh Hashem outside Bashem Harachah HaKodash. So let's go here to first scripture, classic. This is what we always bring out at the end of camp. Revelation chapter 13. All right, concerning this to prove to you that this thing's going to be made mandatory because it's already written. You know, and these scriptures, you know, brothers know. Classic scriptures, but this is Revelation chapter 13. We're going to jump around with it. Matter of fact, start at verse 7. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints, all right, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindred and tongues and nations, all right. So that power is what? To be able to put this thing out, all right. Look at Elon Musk. That's all he's talking about. you know, the Neuralink, you know, because they want to perform those miracles through what? Their technology, which we're reading about. But it says, and it was given unto him to make war. It was given unto him to make war with the saints. And who are the saints? The so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know? And this is war right here, you know, but them trying to make it mandatory to put that thing in you. Yo, man, we're living in some very interesting times. Let me say that. All right, it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So this is a whole worldwide thing right there, right? You know, there's no getting around it. This is going to be worldwide on all four corners of the earth. You can't deny it. You can't hide from it. Because it's given him power. He's given the power to do these things. Who is he? Esau. He's given this power right now. All right. So let's jump back to let's go to 12. Matter of fact, hold on to explain that. Let's jump down to 12, right? Revelations 13 and 12, it says, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him. And who was the first beast? The Roman Empire. All right. The Roman Empire. This is the second leg, the last leg, you know, of the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was some beasts, man. They did a hell of a lot. They tortured the hell out of our people too, man. You know, they ate our people. They did us dirty, man. You know, and they got the same power right now, but right now they just gonna start executing you, man, putting you to death. Why? Because you don't want to bow down to them. And we always been done like this in a lot of captivities, man. You know, but this is the final captivity. This is it. The final curtain call, if you will. Because Yahweh Shah is coming back to do damage. All right, so Revelations 13 and 12, it says, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, laws, policies, you know, legislates, you know, all that. It says, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And that's going into the Roman Empire. You know, now this is the second leg. So what? Now we're in the American Empire, but they structure everything the same way that Rome did. You know, and Rome ran through some things, man. All right, and it says, verse 13, it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Going back to what? Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because before that, when then nobody dropped no atomic bomb and made the whole world be like, oh, we don't want no smoke. That's basically what happened. You know? That's basically what happened, man. And guess what? That made them a superpower. You know, so everybody's going to want to, everybody, and Joe, to this day, but the people are waking up throughout the four corners of the earth. They wanted to, everybody wanted to be like America, Babylon. They wanted to come here, start a family here, you know, businesses. You know, that's why the nations are going to be mad going the Revelations when it talks about the destruction of this place, man. It was what, the 16th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't want to give false information. But you know, when it talks about they stand far off, these nations are mad at this place, man. Because what? They were bamboozled, they were tricked, you know. They thought this place was, you know, the what it was supposed to be. They thought it was a righteous place, but it's really not. You know, and Esau goes around the whole earth effing everything up. You know, he's a liar, man. The scripture tells you that he was a liar from the beginning, man. It says the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go out speaking lies, you know, and they're going to try to say that this thing's not going to be mandatory or in the workplace. This is worldwide, man. All right, it says Revelations 13 and where we at? 14, it says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, man, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that's going into what we just talked about, the policies, the government. You got your senates, everything, the whole infrastructure. All right, that was the image. It says, unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this right here proves that this is going to be mandatory. If you don't say, they got, like I said, they over here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And then I'm talking about the suburbs in Montgomery County. I used to purchase a building over, I forgot how much it was. Something million. It was upper millions, way upper millions. To do what? To house Jake, man. That don't wanna bow down to them and take this thing. All right. Verse 16, it says, and he causeth all. You see this? This I know is going to be made mandatory no matter how much you vote. Because this is how they say, this is bigger than Nino Brown. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And what is that mark? That's the RFID microchip. Which they're casting votes on, talking about some Washington passed this bill. Matter of fact, it's what the Act 23. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. The Act 2303, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up real fast after we get these scriptures. Yeah, the White House bill, 2303. So that's what they having right now. So. When they start talking about they're not going to do it, best believe they're going to do it. All right. It says Revelations 13 and 16 in the KJV. It says because of all, both small and rich, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, say that he that had a mark. See that no man may buy or sell, so you can't work, you can't do anything. So it's a trick bag. I said, just like that whole C-19 thing, the first pandemic, it was a test run. This is a go right here. All right. And they're still doing their little surveys. Oh, they want to vote against this. It says small and great, rich and poor. All y'all going to have to get this thing, man. Everybody, the whole planet. It's going into the hour of temptation. It's going to come on the whole earth, man. It says, in that no man might buy or sell, say that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Kasa stigma. All right. Kasa stigma. This place. But hold on. Let's go ahead. If you take this mark, right, this is what you should expect. It's going to be a harsh judgment, man. And once you take it, there's no salvation for you. You might as well just kiss the baby, as they say. All right. It says Revelations 14 and 9. These are scriptures we bring out every week at camp, at the end of camp, So you can't say, oh, the Church of Philadelphia ain't teach this one. Yes, we do. We teach the same. It's Great Millstone, man. All right, we're on the same umbrella. All right, they're the doctrine. So this is Revelations 14. And look, it says, doom for worshipers of the beast. See the headline right there. It says, doom for worshipers of the beast. It says, it says, and the third angel followed them saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast or his image, how you worship something? Because you like, if you can't eat in there, you go, oh man, I gotta eat, you're gonna go to him. Just like, yo, prime example, right? With the woman that did the video over there in Dubai, which they can't, I don't even think they still down over there. But she did a video and she was begging Trump to cease the fire or whatever so she could come back to Babylon. You know, not once did she call on Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Arachakodas, and she went over there to celebrate her birthday. Then there was another Jake Mel that went over there, and then he's trapped over there. And 9 times out of 10, them niggas worship Allah, man. You know, they Muslims, man. You know? Hey, peace, bro. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shabrakatah. But yo, 9 times out of 10, they Muslims, because that's a place where I know in Philadelphia, it's a heavy Muslim community, man. And all them niggas want to go over there to Dubai, man. You know, or Mecca and all that shit. You know? So I wish some of them niggas was over there right now while it's going down. But hey, it's up to the Lord. But if you take this thing, right, that's worshiping, because she was, oh, please let this send me on. And that's a lot of people, they're going to be begging for this thing when they starve, because a famine is coming. All right, you're going to have a famine and violence, man. You know, so a lot of people are going to be begging for this thing. And that's what they want. They want order out of chaos, and that's how they're going to want you to beg for it. Get on your knees and bow down to them, right? No, you're supposed to turn to the Lord, man, as an Israelite man, Israelite woman, man. All right, so Revelations 14:9, it's going to be a judgment if you take this thing. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, it don't matter where you get it at on your body. Once you get it, you got it, and you're done. You get it, you got it, you're done. Bottom line. It said the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall torment them with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Damn. Yo, that's heavy right there, man. That's something. Yo, you want to avoid that by all costs, man. I'd rather for Esau to whoop my ass than to have to go through this, what the Lord said about disobeying him, right? Check it out, verse 11, it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. That's for a long time. And they had no rest, day nor night, who worshiped the beast and his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. All right, so when you receive this mark, that's saying that you belong to him. It's like what they had. They basically using you as like cattle, sheep, so to speak, livestock. All right, farmers know about that, livestock. So like excuse me, if a farmer has a cattle or whatever, and it comes from his farm, whatever, he had branded with that hot iron, they heat it up and then hit them on the side, wherever they hit them at on the body, and they walk around with that mark on them. So other farmers or whatever know which place he came from, where he belongs to, and to send him back there, you know, just by looking at that mark. And this is what Esau is trying to do to us, you know, trying to give us a mark to say that we belong to him. And the scriptures tell you what, that you were bought with a price. But they're saying that they're not going to do it. Oh, you could vote for it, and then bang. That's why I told you in what's that, Sirach? It says, never trust our enemy, for his iron rusted swords is wickedness. You know, that's we crouching right now. Oh, you don't got to get it. It's not mandatory. Just vote on it. No, they're going to make it mandatory, man. All right. So let's go ahead. Jeremiah 30. That's a lot. Yeah, kind of. I got two more scriptures. Words wilderness is edifying. And forgive me, I'm a little tired. Like I said, I just got out the plant. It's Jeremiah 30 and 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. And that MOT to the B, that's a part of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, which is going to come on the whole earth. So them talking about just here in Babylon, or you could vote. Matter of fact, how about this? They already got it. People already got it in Australia, man. They already equipped and ready to go. You know, they already equipped and ready to go. So what the hell you think is not going to come? Oh, because this is Babylon. You have freedom of this and freedom. You don't got freedom of shit because your rights has already been taken. They just playing games with the people. That's how retarded the Babylonians are these days, man. You're fucking retarded. And you believe everything that come out these devils' mouth. And that's why you're going to get exactly what you get. So once again, Jeremiah 30 and 7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Even, Salaki, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And I remember watching yesterday, me and the brother was watching this video on YouTube. It's about an hour long. It was going into a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in the world right now, right? And I think it was the British people. The Brits did this. I think it was in Mexico, something like that. But anyway, what they did, they would it was an execution, like when they wanted to execute you, they would tie your body to a cannon with your back to the cannon, the barrel behind your back, and let that shit go off. And your body parts is flying everywhere, man. And that was a way of execution back then. So now look, they got the guillotine here, you know, a whole bunch, man. It's about to get ugly out here, man. This is the last scripture. This is Isaiah 65 and 9. It says, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Salakia. Forgive me. That's how I'm tired. But then that's a good script. I'm gonna finish that scripture anyway. Isaiah 65 and 9, it says, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, an inheritance of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. All right, his elect is going to get the first fruits, man. Everything, man. Check it out. Let's jump down to 13. It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And and it's going into that whole when they make that thing mandatory. First of all, you got Kill Gates, man. You got this lab grown meat and all this stuff. So this is really not real food. Then look what happened with the with our people when we were in the wilderness. We were fed what? Manna, angels' food, man. The Lord took care of us. So why would you want to fall out because you're hungry, your stomach touching your back, and Esau got that bullshit in front of you? And they know what you like to eat, man. So they're going to entice you and all that. They've been watching, man. They're going to continue to keep watching, you know? But don't fall for that shit. No matter how much they vote, the RFID microchip is going to be made mandatory, which we just read through the scriptures. Now hold on real fast. Let me get some information on this, and I'm gonna close it out. What is the okay? All right, so check this out. We got a little general information on this. Which one I want? All right, let me read this. This is a little quick one. All right, it says the Pennsylvania House Bill 2303. I guess came about in 2023 to 2024 session. Proposes the modernized PA divorce laws by making the process faster, less than. Oh, what the fuck? Hold on, that sounds kind of crazy. But it might be because let's say I believe that's it though. Yeah, kind of that's it. Oh, Washington House. Forgive me. All right, I think I typed it in wall. All right, hold up. Let's do this one. Salakia. Damn, that's crazy because it's still bringing it up. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, this is it. Salakia. Give me. The brother got Yo, Calvin, brother. Ezekiel 33:33. It's one of my favorites. This is Washington. It says Washington House Bill 2303. All right, it says Washington House Bill 2303. This came about in 2025 to 2026 session. It says often refers to as the anti-microchipping bill. Yo, this is hilarious, man. Because the scriptures already tell you can't. Then Esau always trying to find a way to upset prophecy, but it's never going to work, man. It's never going to work for you, Esau. Like, you fucking crazy. But it says it's often referred to as the anti-microchipping bill, prohibits employers from requiring coercing. How they going to coerce you? You're going to take this. What's that? Revelations 13 and 15. Revelations 13 and 15 is going to show you what happens to people. Matter of fact, they don't want to take it. That's how they're going to coerce you to take that shit. Oh, you ain't going to take it? Oh, we got these guillotines over here. That's how they're going to coerce your ass. It says from acquiring, coercing, or requesting that employees have microchips or similar subsequences technology implemented for monitoring or control. Passed with the broad support in the early 2026, it protects worker privacy against mandatory non-medical tracking technology. Like I said, they're gonna try to use it. Oh well, it's in their medical plan. They have to get it because it's in this. See how they play, yo. I'm telling you, Esau is a slick MFer, man. A slick MFer. All right, it says key details of the bill, specifically ESHB 2303 and HB 2303 as of early 2026 says prohibition. All right, prohibition. I can't talk tongue twisted. It says employers must not force request or require employees to have a microchip implant as a condition of employment. Like I said, it's going to be inside of your medical plan. Watch. These niggas slick, I'm telling you. It says definition. Microchip refers to as microchip refers to any subsequent technology implemented in the body containing personal information or a unique ID that can be scanned. It says medical exemption. The ban does not apply to devices used for diagnosing, monitoring, or treating a health condition. You see that? I'm telling you, that's how they're going to try to sneak it in there. Oh, well, they don't have to get it, but this is in the medical plan. You have to have it for medical. Slick, man. I'm telling you, man. It says enforcement. Employees affected by violations can pursue civil action to seek injunctive, Salaka, injunctive relief, actual damages, and punitive damages. It says status. The bill moved toward the governor's desk, so it hasn't even been signed by the governor yet, because he could shut it down. This is the status of it. It said the status right now. It says the bill moved toward the governor's desk, which I believe that's Governor Ferguson. Desk was strong with strong bipartisan support in February 2026. All right, so that's basically it on that. You mean you can look it up for yourself if you want to go deeper into it. That's just for time's sake and all that. Just just a little what's going on. All right. So no matter how much they vote, hey, listen, man, it's coming. It's already here. And if they're saying that, why do they have the system set up already? Why do they have the B system set up already if they wasn't going to implement it? So let that sink in. So with that, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory. Matter of fact, let me read the scripture the brother has up here real quick. Ezekiel 33 and 33. It says, "So when it comes to pass, as it most certainly will, then they shall know without a doubt that a prophet has been among them." And that's right, man. It's our apostle elders. Bishops of Great Millstone and the men of like mind and others under the same umbrella that's teaching the same doctrine, man. When these things happen, because they say, and because you got people on edge, we're not taking this and this. They already told you. I told you the test run was for what? The C-19 thing. People lost their jobs. They lost their jobs because they didn't want to take that thing. Then you had dummies that took it. Now they in the spirit world. Are they real jacked up? So this time around, it's mandatory. I don't care what they talking about. I know what the scripture said. Like the scripture said, man, it says, "Let the words of the Lord be true, and every man found to be a liar," man. And Esau is a goddamn liar. Trust and believe that thing is going to be made mandatory real soon. All right, because look at the times that we're in. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Arachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, bishops of Great Millstone, to us the truth. Honors and salutations to the elect, and to the men that died doing the work of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, because they shall rise first. All right, to the men, women, and children that believe on the true name of the Father and the Son. The Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he's the deliverer. He's come and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. So with that, I'm going to say Mawafa Baba Ba and Kwame Asharala. Shalom. Stay up. We almost home.